A little bit ago, I made a video about turning what I saw in my head when I smelled cologne into a painting, and I kind of forgot how much of a downer I was in that narration. But it's not for no reason. A few days prior, I had posted a YouTube short that was taken way out of context, and suddenly I was being accused of something that I wasn't. That being said, I wanted to figure out something positive in that experience, so in this video for the Borealis Company, I want to explore the idea of learning how to see trolls as potentially a good thing. With that being said, if you're dealing with trolls on your journey, online or offline, it's really important that you remember this kind of conflict is kind of inevitable. I think that's just what comes with over 8 billion people being able to think independently whether they know it or not. But if you're on the internet or on a platform like YouTube or Reddit or something else like that, you have to acknowledge where you are.
Welcome to the internet.
Welcome to the world where you discover who human beings are based off the actions they do when no one's looking. Whether that's a video of themselves or the ability to send messages using nothing but an alias. Hiding behind a mask is intoxicating for a lot of people because you get to not be you for a moment. All that to say, you're going to hear this kind of stuff from people who aren't really themselves for whatever reason someone more psychologically adept than me can explain to you. From a desire to have control in a life that feels out of control, to the idea that they've been hurt, so others must feel hurt too, and then claim that's just life. But the truth is, that's a story that trolls use to justify their beliefs that change is impossible. Which leads me to my first point. If it ever gets too much, you're allowed to walk away. If you need a second to breathe, that's okay. Listen to that feeling and honor it by taking a break when you need to. I mean, don't take mental health days to be lethargic and avoid work. But the point is, success doesn't have to be that brutal rise and fall plotline that we see all the time. Typically, I see that as more of a device to make a story more emotionally impactful because the bigger they are, the harder they fall, right? I mean, internet trolls are perfect examples of people baiting others into failure because they recognize that plot. But it goes back to that point of being truthful and self-aware. Because similar to what I said in the passion video, there comes a point when you're not really keeping up with metrics more than you are just chasing the dragon.
You don't ever catch the dragon, Dad!
No! No, I said! I am your father!
And with the combination of doing something for the sake of growing it and running the risk of dealing with more trolls as it grows, it's time for my next point. Being seen gives the right people permission. I'd like you to meet someone. Someone who is actually very important to me for both my art journey and my journey here on YouTube. This is Red Hung Yi. She's a Malaysian artist featured in the YouTube show The Sketchbook series from the channel Trojan Horse Was a Unicorn. The contents of her sketchbooks are very unconventional, with one person even leaving a comment that actually has been deleted since I tried to find it for this video, so I'll just paraphrase. Did you just pick someone off the street? I hope her work's not in the same book as Kim Jong-il's. Basically, uncalled for is undercutting it. But then she said something about a minute and 30 seconds in.
My thing about sketchbooks is I have quite a few at home. I love beautiful, like moleskins and all that, but I read somewhere that the thing about having a sketchbook is it's so precious, you just don't want to destroy it. So I went the other way around. I don't want to be precious about it. So I'm like, just destroy it. Like,
she has a philosophy that permits her the freedom to express herself within the parameters of that sketchbook. As a matter of fact, Red Hung Yi has developed a reputation of being an artist with no paintbrush, as this candle wax portrait of ADELE beautifully demonstrates, or this portrait of basketball player Yao Ming using only a basketball. The point here isn't that trolls typically say those things because they never have the bigger picture, which is true, but because that point is made plenty of times, I want instead to make the point that because of Red Hung Yi's confidence in herself and the ability to display what she has to offer to the world, it made me see her as proof that my work is something to provide too. Yes, you're going to get more trolls as more people become aware of you, but you're also going to get more people providing their authentic stories out to the world because they were inspired by you. So, back to the original idea. Are trolls a good thing? once you build up the skin to not take what they're saying personally and think about what else might be going on with their lives? Yes. The purpose of an internet troll is to typically misconstrue your narrative, as I had experienced, and I believe we saw exponentially more with cancel culture. But instead of seeing it as a threat, consider it as maybe healthy pushback. Is there some truth to what they're saying? And more importantly, do I care enough to change? Because yes, a lot of times trolls use one of two fallacies. The straw man fallacy, where they take what you said and change the wording into getting you to argue something you're not actually arguing for.
What's in it for the women, though?
Well, what sort of partner do you want? Do you want an overgrown child? Or do you want someone to contend with that's going to help you and that
So
you
you're
can
saying
rely on?
women have some sort of duty to sort of help fix the crisis of masculinity?
Or an ad hominem fallacy, where instead of going after your argument, they go after your character. So that would look like, I believe the world is flat. Well, I believe you're an idiot. It's not a counter-argument, it's just an insult. But sometimes, some channels like Blacktail Studio or BM Sculptures have actually figured out ways to incorporate criticism as making it a game or something to work on for their next project. It's actually super important to be conditioned for confrontation, for your mental and emotional well-being, in the same way that you work out to condition your physical well-being. But, just like working out, if it's too much, back off for a bit and build your strength over time. See it as character growth. Nobody likes a character who becomes too perfect for their arc overnight. Or just do what I do, argue for them. Typically, what I find to be effective, and it may change in the future, is really process what they're saying. A lot of times, I've found some people who are super passionate and defensive about an idea, which, hey, more power to them. But if it's the typical argument, I tell them something to the vein of, if you really want to shut me down, don't tell the YouTube algorithm that people are engaging with my videos and are worth pushing out by leaving a comment. And more often than not, that works. Some have even deleted their comments, which works just as well because now they're out of sight and out of mind. If you have a big enough following where the comment section goes on for forever, or if you have people make accusations that start spreading like wildfire, well, that's a little different. Because sometimes it's not really too much more than it is too many. That's when I have to remind myself that this is not their story. It's mine. Plus, no matter how hard you try, you can't change everyone's minds. So sometimes the best thing to do is continue on with your own story, knowing they aren't permanent. They're just more like hitchhikers that you take note of as you drive off, and then keep on driving. Thanks so much, everybody. If you like this, please consider liking and subscribing. And I want to nurture a very loving and empowering community here. So I want to know in the comments, what do you do to fend off bullies or trolls? And or what is something positive that you can leave in the comments for people as they scroll on by?
It does speak to me because we're in the business of storytelling too. Yeah.